Hi, and welcome back to another edition of the Gadget Lab. I am Michael Calori.
And I am Roberto.
So on Wednesday, Apple released the latest version of OS X, its desktop operating system. It is 10.8 Mountain Lion. And Roberto, has been reporting on it for a few months now. You've been using it.
I have been.
And there are a bunch of features that we're going to talk about. Why don't we start with sort of the overview, like what is the strategy here? What does this release represent?
This release kind of represents, to me, other people will probably disagree, this sort of merging of iOS and OS X. You're moving, you have Notification Center in there now, you have reminders, you have notes, all these things that have been on your iPhone for a few years or a few iterations are now in OS X, and they actually work pretty well together.
So to my eyes, the thing that I see is the most exemplary of this, outside of the things you already mentioned, is the iCloud integration. The fact that you can sync things like photographs and documents that you're working on, not only with your with all the other computers in the Macs in your home, but with your mobile device like your iPad and your phone and things like that, right?
Yeah, so if you're using any of iWork, for example, right now, you can save items directly into the cloud, or iCloud, as they call it. Initially, when you open it up, I kept looking for something called the iCloud Document Services. That doesn't exist. Each individual app has its own little document center. So if you launch an app and you don't know how to save something in iCloud, or you've saved something in iCloud and you have no idea where it's at, go up to File, Open, and it'll pop open a dialog box.
Oh, so it's weird.
On iCloud.
So there's no central repository of everything I've been working on in iCloud.
It's each individual app has its own repository.
That's kind of annoying. How long until somebody makes something that does that for you? Because
a week.
I look at yeah, right. You're probably right. I look at things like Google Drive and Dropbox, and they all work the same way, which is you can organize things by folders, but there's one massive store that you go to and you just see everything you have saved. So that is a little weird, I guess.
Yeah, I mean you can make individual folders inside of each application's iCloud repository, so that's kind of nice. But yeah, okay. I was a long-time iDisk user, so having that sort of area where you just saved items to. That was gone, and so now it's more
compartmentalized.
Yes, compartmentalized.
The other thing that I really like about it is that now there are other online services other than iCloud that are folded into the OS. Like you talked a little bit about the Twitter functionality in the write-up that you did for Gadget Lab.
Yeah, you can tweet or share items. You can share items directly from the Finder and tweet directly from the Finder, in almost from folders. You can send documents or links from folders. You can send photos. You can right click on something and share and tweet that, or you can send through messages. With something I found which is really fun is I have a folder full of GIFs because I'm a nerd, and you can right click on that, share it.
Animated GIFs, not just
animated GIFs, not just regular, just like it's
not all
circles.
Featuring cats.
No, some have Breaking Bad, some are Game of Thrones. But you can right-click on one of those GIFs and send it as a message, an iMessage, to someone's iPhone.
Oh,
so
that's cool.
I've been sending animated GIFs to my wife's iPhone for the past week.
And I'm sure she loves you all.
And she's like, how do I do this?
Upgrade.
Upgrade. And it's fun.
Also, Flickr, you can find an image anywhere in your computer and right-click and send it to Flickr.
Yeah, and the weird thing is that you've been able to send photos to Flickr from iPhoto for a while, but they've been constrained to 1024 by 1024. That's the biggest you can send from iPhoto, unless you have a Pro account. But from the Finder, you can send 2048 by 2048.
That's
so you
great.
can send a larger photo from the Finder using that share the same way messages, Twitter, Flickr, email. You can use the same thing, upload it, and when you upload to Flickr from the Finder, you also get the option. There's a description, there's title, you can put tags. It's a much nicer integration with Flickr than iPhoto, which is the photo document.
Well, yeah, I think there are probably a lot of people who are, sort of Flickr power users who aren't going to be using iPhoto anyway, I would imagine.
Yeah.
It's just kind of janky. I've never really been a big fan of it, but
yeah, do you want to put it here? It's never been a great sort of integration.
Right. Speaking of integration, there is no Facebook integration.
Not now.
From what I've seen. Not now.
Apple said during the keynote that it would be coming in the fall. It was available during the dev builds. So during the developer builds, and you may have seen some people saying, "Oh, it's been pulled." Well, it was never actually in the Gold Master.
I see.
So it's not there now, but it will be coming in the fall. Apple said it would be coming in the fall, so it wasn't pulled.
It's just not there.
Yeah,
yet.
it's just not there right now.
Well, so we can still tweet and we can still Flickr.
Yeah,
That's good, I guess.
Flickr till the cows come home.
Now, what about upgrading? It's $20.
$20.
So it's kind of a no-brainer.
If you got $20, I mean, don't eat pizza tonight. Boom, you got a new OS.
So what if, I bought my computer in 2009, I never upgraded to Lion, maybe I upgraded to Snow Leopard, like what about all those issues?
I would check Apple's upgrade compatibility charts before you just go crazy and start upgrading. A lot of anything pre-2011, it won't get AirPlay. AirPlay's awesome, but if you have a 2010, 2009, whatever computer, you're not going to be able to send your images or your screen. You can't mirror it on your.
You
Apple
can't do
TV.
video mirroring to an Apple television.
Yeah.
Unless you have a newer computer.
Yeah, you need a newer computer.
Okay.
So.
And I mean, that sounds like sort of an edge case, something really nerdy, but that's actually a really awesome feature.
It is. I think that's probably the killer feature of the upgrade is AirPlay mirroring, because it creates a situation where everything that's on your computer, anything you can get to on the internet, or if you have any applications, you can put it on your big screen TV now. Anything. Hulu, like if you want to get Hulu on your big screen TV, you had to pay, it's like $8 a month. You can watch any of the free content on Hulu on your big TV now.
Just by using AirPlay.
Exactly.
So how long until that gets shut down?
I don't know.
Technically, it's very difficult to shut that down. I mean, they would have to have Apple's complicit, Apple would have to be complicit in that. They would have to actually, engineer in that block, right?
I don't know what they're going to do about it. I'm excited about music festivals. We watched Coachella. Right. We streamed Coachella from my wife's iPad. We had to do all these crazy workarounds to get Coachella streaming on the iPad, then we pushed it to our TV. This year, we won't have to do that.
Right.
We can just boop, boop, watch it on there. We can watch live video. Like the other day, I was watching a live stream of a bear fishing. I could watch it on my big screen TV.
Oh, I'm sure that was riveting.
It was.
That's just about all the time we have right now, but I just want to wrap up and say that we are recommending that you upgrade. And of course, back up before you upgrade. That's very important. You have Time Machine built in, so you're smart enough to know that. What do you recommend, by the way? Do you recommend a wipe and a clean install, or just do the on top of?
If you can do a wipe and clean install, that's always a recommendation. But if you can't, if you have too many items, too many, programs, applications, add-ons, you can just do that. I do recommend waiting until a 0.1, at least a 0.1 update, just in case.
Okay.
First adopters is go for it. But especially if you use your computer for work or you're in the middle of a big project, finish those things. But I always kind of recommend a 0.1 update.
And that's usually within a month, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's only $20, which is like 4 double venti Duccinos. So, if you can curb your Starbucks habit for a little bit, maybe you can afford the new operating system for your computer. Anyway, that's all we have for this week. Robbie and I will be back next week on the Gadget Lab.
Bye.